Hello, my name is Blair Allison. I'm a professor of mechanical engineering at Grove City College. Thank you for coming to our virtual STEM Discovery Day. I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about mechanical engineering related minors. Specifically, I want to talk about chemical engineering minor and a robotics minor. First, let's take a look at the long list of minors that are available at Grove City College, covering many different areas. These are all listed in the Grove City College Bulletin that you have access on the college website. I'm going to talk specifically about the two that are highlighted, the chemical engineering minor and the robotics minor. So what's a chemical engineering minor all about? Well, it's the combination of chemistry and engineering. More specifically, the definition here is, I think, a good one for chemical engineering. If you're going to work as a chemical engineer, you're going to work in a branch of engineering that deals with production of chemicals and the manufacture of products, and this is through chemical processes. So a chemical engineer might find himself or herself designing equipment, designing systems and processes, and this would be for the refining of raw materials, for maybe mixing and compounding and processing chemicals with the goal of making valuable products or very useful products. At Grove City College, the chemical engineering minor requires you to take 19 credit hours of courses, and they're listed here. The first three, chemical engineering fundamentals, separation processes, and chemical reaction engineering, those courses were developed specifically for the chemical engineering minor. The four listed below, thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, heat transfer, and a thermal fluids laboratory, those are required mechanical engineering courses that all mechanical engineering students would take. So if you were interested in obtaining a chemical engineering minor, you would need to take only 3 courses above and beyond the standard required classes to obtain a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Let me say a few words about a robotics minor. First, let me talk about 2 main types of robots. One we would characterize as industrial robots that get used in manufacturing situations often, anything from handling large, heavy parts to high-speed material handling to welding applications, painting. And the robots that you see here were developed by a company called FANUC, and these are in wide use in the United States and around the world. We have a FANUC robot, the one that I've highlighted in the top middle of this illustration, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. The other main category of robots are mobile robots. The one shown on the left is one that was designed, built, tested, and sold by Boston Dynamics. This robot can walk, it can run, it can jump. In fact, it can even do flips. The other robots, the bottom right, this is a robot that might typically be used by, let's say, a bomb squad. It's controlled remotely. It can be moved into position. There are cameras that can examine something that you're approaching, and there are arms that can move things around. The illustration in the upper right is a picture from an Amazon warehouse. The units that you see in the front here are used to pick up shelf units at some point in the warehouse, bring it to a location where a person would, pick out items to make up your order. This shows you the 2 robots that we have in Hoyt Hall to support the robotics minor. These focus on the industrial robots. The 2 illustrations that you see on the left show a FANUC LR-Mate 200 robot That has been integrated into the cart that you see on the left. FANUC calls that their Certified Education Robot Training Cart, or CERT. And we have one of those that's used in our industrial robots lab. The illustration on the far right is a 4-degree of freedom Quanzer Canova robot, and it's used by the students to help them better understand things like forward and inverse kinematics and trajectory planning. This helps them understand what goes on behind the scenes in terms of the mathematical calculations that are needed to move a robot in along a desired trajectory. The courses that you need to take to complete a minor in robotics are shown here. 20 credit hours are required. The 3 courses at the top: mobile robots, industrial robots, and ethics in engineering and robotics. Those 3 courses were specifically developed for the robotics minor. The courses shown below are either required or elective mechanical engineering courses. That includes system dynamics, control systems, kinematics and dynamics and machinery, or you could also take introduction to mechatronics. And then all students have to complete a 4 credit hour robotics related capstone design project. I should mention that in the industrial robots class, students all have a copy of robot simulation software from this company, FANUC. And with that simulation software, they can simulate the same robot that we have in the lab, the actual robot. They can program it. You see a teach pendant shown on the right here. And they can develop programs, test them out here, see the robot moving, and then you can transfer those programs to the actual real robot. So having the virtual robot on their computers allows students to get a lot more practice at developing programs and becoming more and more familiar with that particular robot. Thank you for being part of this today. If you have any additional questions related to minors available within the mechanical engineering department, please get in touch with anyone in the department. And also, if you have any questions at all about mechanical engineering, please contact us. We'd be happy to help you and answer your questions. Thank you for being part of this today.